My friends and fellow Americans, I'm a member of a religion and politics message board, and someone posted a group of stories about lack of gun safety, 3 horrible stories of children getting their hands on guns and shooting themselves or shooting a sibling or something. One of the stories involved an off-duty police officer. So someone commented, how is it possible that an off-duty officer would not have known better? And someone else answered that and said, and I quote, I truly hate to say it, but cop doesn't necessarily mean intelligent. I'm a real estate broker, and a lot of retired military and police enter the field. They have connections with their old buddies, and in the case of police, experience working with the public. Some of them do really well. That said, one of the stupidest people I have ever met was a lady who worked for me for a while. She wasn't just a retired cop. She'd been a captain. She literally came out of the restroom one day and asked if someone could put some toilet paper on the holder for her because she couldn't figure it out. She carried a gun. End quote. Now, what struck me about this was she wasn't just a retired cop, she had been a captain. To which I responded, affirmative action doing its job. One of the ladies, no, I'm going to say it, one of the femagogues on this particular message board decided that qualified me as a sexist a-hole. I thought it was kind of funny. I was not questioning the lady's ability to be a police officer, because even if affirmative action got her appointed to the police academy, it's not going to help her get through the police academy. You perform or you fail. And if you fail the police academy, they don't say, well, that's all right. Here's the gun, here's the badge, and we'll hope that things get better. No. If you don't perform in the police academy, you're not a cop. It's that simple. So I wasn't questioning her ability to be a cop. However, I do believe that affirmative action helps to reinforce something called the Peter Principle. For those of you that are not familiar with the Peter Principle, I'll give you the principle and then I'll explain it in a little bit of detail. In a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. His level of incompetence. It's interesting. Unfortunately, it's also kind of true. We have this thing called the American Dream. And you take a guy that's been in the same job for 10, 15, 20 years, and maybe he's getting a little old and he can't physically do the job anymore, but the company doesn't want to lose him. He's been a loyal employee. He does his job well. He's more than competent in his job. He works the overtime, whatever. He's a terrific employee. We want to reward that. So they make him a supervisor over the people doing that same job. He's not quite competent to handle that job. That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, in a lot of cases. That is exactly what happens. Now, when I say that affirmative action helps to promote that, let me give you another scenario here. There are 2 assistant managers at a convenience store. One works afternoons, one works midnights, whatever. The store manager is leaving that position. He's going to another company. He's moving up in that same company, whatever. He's no longer going to be the store manager. Both of our assistant managers make sure that everyone knows that they'd be interested in the vacant position. One happens to be male, one happens to be female. So the hierarchy above the current store manager says, well, what do you think of these 2 people? Because that's normally what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to look over resumes, but they're going to ask the direct supervisor, what do you think? And he says something along the lines of, well, I mean, they're both really good at their jobs. I like them both. They're always on time. They're competent. They go that extra mile for me. You know, they work plenty of extra hours if an employee doesn't show up. I have no complaints with either one of them. And the hierarchy says, yeah, but who should we promote? And the store manager says, I got to be honest, I think the guy, Joe, is probably better suited to the store manager position because he's better at, whatever. He's better at thinking on his feet. It's got to be something that's a judgment call, obviously. It can't be something quantitative that you can point to. He's better at thinking on his feet, or, he can roll with the punches when certain things happen. I just think he might be a better choice. Okay. The hierarchy looks at this and they say, wow, we've got two people that appear to be qualified to be promoted. We already don't have enough females in management positions, and we got this little thing called affirmative action. Ugh. You know what? We don't want to hear from the lawyers on this. We're gonna promote her. And they promote her. And it turns out that she doesn't quite have what it takes to truly be competent in that position. Now, there's two problems here. What this does is it prevents other people who may be qualified for that position from moving up. So you say, well, they can just fire her if she's incompetent at her job. Well, true enough. They can make a case, if another position above the store manager opens up and she applies for it, they can say, look, you don't do this right, you don't do this right, you do this wrong every month. Every month we have to fix this. And if the incompetence is egregious enough, certainly they can fire her. But she's been a loyal employee, and she's certainly trying. She's doing her best. It's just that her best isn't good enough. The company has now insulated itself from a legal action based upon affirmative action. They now have proof that, she doesn't even belong in the job that she's at. Forget getting moved up. And eventually they may move her out of that position, whether by firing her, telling her, look, why don't you go back down to being a shift manager? You were really good at being a shift manager. But until they clear that position, other people who may be qualified are prevented from moving up into that position. It weakens the company. I have no problem with showing a good, loyal, competent employee in the position that they're already at, that they're valuable. Keep her in the assistant manager role and make her the highest paid assistant manager in the company. Give her 6 weeks of paid vacation. Give her whatever you want. Reward what she does, absolutely, but don't hurt the company because of political correctness. And that's what happens, not only with the Peter Principle, but with the thing that backs it up, affirmative action. That's my objection to affirmative action. Well, my friends, may God bless and keep you, whether you believe in him or not. And until you hear my voice again, may you be safe, may you be happy, and may you be loved. Peace and comfort.